the next use case, quota and approval. Here the scenario is that now that we've actually 4 different virtual machines running, our quota is exceeded and we need to retire instances before we can reorder again. And next step is that an approval is necessary before an order is fulfilled. And the interesting piece here is that that quota is actually calculated based on consumption data across the various different cloud environments and hypervisors. So it is not just a single one, but no matter where the virtual machines are running, as long as they've been requested through Cloud Forms, we can actually build quotas across all of those different environments. The approval basically is the CloudForm engine allows configurable rich workflow steps and criteria which are evaluated. And here we're using those and the integration capabilities to add an approval step once we're ordering a medium image. The actual provisioning scenario then is reused from the order service scenario before, so there's nothing new. So what's important here is the end user uses Cloud Forms to request a new system. That is then denied. He goes back to actually retire services and reorder the virtual machine that he wants to have. That then triggers an approval, and then the approver needs to approve before the actual provisioning is then triggered. So let's look at that. I'm still logged in as a consumer here, so I'm just moving back into the service catalog. And I do want to order a managed Windows system now. So here the username is again vRichter. Windows doesn't allow login through secure shell public-private key combinations, so we have to enter a password. The password still has to comply with certain complexity criteria, so I'm using Geheim 2015 ! As a password because I know that this will be compliant to the password rules. The request here is in state pending, and it takes a while for the workflow engine to pick it up. So you see it's pending approval, and once the approval process runs, it finds out that my quota is exceeded. I'm getting an email, and it says, no, that is the wrong one. It says, your service request is denied due to the following quota limits. We have one more than the quota. So I could even look again into my request to see that why it was denied, to see some more information. But basically what it means is I need to retire a service before I can order it again. So let me just retire one of those services that I've ordered before. And retirement is an interesting concept because it helps us to actually ensure that we don't consume resources. The nice thing about clouds, or don't unnecessarily consume resources. The nice thing about clouds is that they provide rather limitless resources, and not every customer actually has cross-charging in place. So what very often happens is that resources are ordered and provisioned. However, nobody thinks about actually decommissioning them and thinking about retiring them. So first of all, retirement is something that is also a structured process. So it does not simply terminate the instance, but it does a lot of cross-checks and tear-down processes. For example, I've mentioned that when an instance is provisioned, it is registered with satellite. Now, the retirement process basically removes also that registered instance from satellite, so that the subscription data on the satellite side is actually always current and does not have any dead or unnecessary entries associated with it. Also, what happens is that, for example, external systems like CMDBs could be updated with the fact that a service was retired, or that network configurations, backup configurations, etc. could be adapted to show that certain systems is no longer available. The other aspect about retirement is that I can actually plan a retirement. So I could, for example, say, 3 months ahead of time. I just need it for the next 2 weeks. So in 3 months, you can simply delete this or retire this instance, and it will do that automatically without having me to worry 3 months later on to remember that I need to retire stuff to clean up. So it's a very nice concept. Just refreshing it to see if it's already retiring. Yeah, it is. You can also see the virtual machine is already stopped. Once the virtual machine, the instance is archived, I get an email notification, which happens to arrive now. Got the retirement alert here that the virtual machine has been retired. And once the virtual machine has been retired, it takes a couple more seconds until the service is also removed from my list of services. So now that the virtual machine has been retired, I should be able to order a new one. Just want to be sure. And refreshing the list of services. Service is still here. The virtual machine is archived, as you can see through the A here. So I'm moving over to the catalog and order again my Windows managed instance. This time I'm not going to order a small one, but a medium one. And medium, I'm using the same T15 exclamation mark, using the same data, only the difference is the size is medium. Medium means it is the approval workflow will kick in. Basically, we in the automatic approval step checks for small items to be provisioned immediately, to be automatically approved. However, medium sized virtual machines require a specific approval through a third person. So let's order this. And as you can see, the status here, pending. Once I hit refresh, this denied will probably turn up on top because it's one of the most important informations, which one have been denied. As you can also see, the service request was not approved due to the following reasons. Flavor medium requires approval. And I was just sent a mail that approval is probably necessary. So this is an interesting aspect. What I didn't mention before, but what you can see here, all the different emails that are sent out actually turn up in the same mailbox. However, as you can see, that the recipient is now approver. So you can see here it is sent to approver instead of to the consumer that the emails before were sent to. And the reason for that is that we've created a catch-all mailbox where all the different emails turn up. So we don't have to switch mail clients every time. Rather, we have a single mailbox where all the different emails are being stored in, even though they're sent to different roles. So here in this case, the notification is sent to the approver. So let me log in as approver now. And as you can see, even though I hit reload, sorry, didn't hit reload, I hit that specific request. Even though I'm reloading it, it still remains in pending approval and it does not go away. So I really need to do something now as approver to kick the provisioning off. So I'm logging in as approver now. And I'm being taken directly into the list of requests. So as you can see, the various different roles within the CloudForm systems have their specific user interface. You can see many more menu items up here. And the approver also has, it lands directly in the list of requests that are to be approved. So I'm clicking on that. I can see a number of different information items as part of that request. And I can use this information to then approve or deny it. I'm assuming, let's assume I approve it. If we deny it, we'd have to rerun through everything again in order to actually get that instance provisioned. So we just say, hey, it's required by project A and approve it. Nice thing about, oops, sorry, need to hit OK required by project A, and hit submit. So this actually helps us to implement, for example, ITIL compliant request processes. So it is really an auditable audit trail that is created. Any request, any approval that is being done is logged in the system. A reason is captured. So there's really a trail on all the decisions. So now you can see it is in state approved by the approver. And you could also see that an email was already sent that the approval took place. Your service provision request has been approved, and that we will get another email when the service is available. So it will probably take a couple of minutes for Windows to be provisioned. One of the reasons why this takes a much longer than the Linux instance before is that the Windows image is a 20 gigabyte image, whereas the Linux images only had a 400 megabytes. We have for a storage network, rather slow gigabit Ethernet as a backend network here. So it takes probably 15 minutes until the Windows is available. So I would suggest not waiting for the Windows image to be there. We will revisit it later on to see that it's actually running, and just continue with the demo as it is now.